So Emery, this is a really stupid question I have for you.
Okay.
Are you related to Ray Chase by any chance?
I saw someone ask that on a YouTube video the other day. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
However, the last name Chase is supposedly derived from three brothers who were in charge of running the Royal Chase in England. So,
Okay.
since they were all brothers, hypothetically anyone with the last name Chase is related to me. But
Ooh.
I will not claim to actually, like, I don't know if that's valid, you know? That's just what I've been told by, like, my grandma.
What is the Royal
Um,
Chase? Is it like a hunting thing or it's like
yeah,
a
like hunting, like the dogs that, like, go chase the
Oh, okay.
foxes.
Okay, that's what
Yeah,
that is. Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
So
So,
ten,
theoretically, I'm related to Ray Chase,
technically,
but
if you want to go into technical details, then yeah, sure. That's great.
should be supposedly. If he wants to do a DNA test, we could prove that, but
I
I
mean,
don't know him.
you're in LA, right? Sure, you can just find him somewhere. Just do it.
Yeah. I'll hit
um,
him up. Hey, I think we're cousins. I don't
yeah, why not? But yeah, this is welcome back to another episode of OverVoice Season 3. Today I am joined by the lovely Emeri Chase. Emery, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Emeri Chase. I'm a professional voice actor, also immersive theater actor, and you might know me as Soldier 11 in Zenless Zone Zero, Aurora in League of Legends, and some other stuff.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you and your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries. My first and foremost, my question is how did you get into voice acting? What's your journey been like so far?
So totally on accident. So my parents, my mom and my stepdad, have been involved before they retired in kids like edutainment stuff.
Mm,
If anyone remembers Living Books from the 90s, that was my stepdad. And when I was a kid, they would have projects where they wanted a child's voice, and so they would kind of just stick me, a child, in front of a microphone. And I didn't think anything of it. I didn't even really know that like it was a job. And then when I was in college, I was doing musicals and I was doing immersive theater, and they had this project that they were working on, and they wanted just like they needed like two lines for something for this like proof of concept video they were doing. And they
yeah.
asked me to do it, and I was like, sure. And I recorded it on like a gaming. Oh, my light turned off. Oh well. I recorded it on like a gaming headset mic. Like it sounded so bad, I'm sure. Um, but anyway, the team ended up watching the video and decided that they didn't like the whatever they'd cast and whatever direction they'd gone for like the main character of the project, and they wanted something that sounded like the like two lines that I had done for this other thing over here. And so my mom was like, hey, do you want this job? And I was like, okay, I guess. And that was in August of 2019.
Oh.
We all know what happened like 6 months after that.
Oh, yep. Mhm.
So suddenly all of my theater opportunities were gone. Like I just couldn't act anymore, basically. And but that one gig, they were like, we'll send you a microphone and whatever, and get you set up with a home studio.
Nice.
And so I thought I might as well look into more of the voiceover thing. And then that was that. I liked it so much that I ended up kind of pivoting my focus from stage work to being more focused on voiceover. I'm gonna see if I can get my light turned back on. No. Oh, it is. Okay, there
Oh,
we
there
go.
we
There
go.
we go. I don't know why it shouldn't be on a timer, but I guess it is. So,
Huh.
however long I have to do that, we'll do it.
But that's awesome. I didn't know it was by accident. It's like
Totally by
because
accident.
some people like start with the intention to do it, and some people just fall into it randomly. So like, oh, there we go. There goes the light
It's
again.
gone again. Maybe it's out of batteries. Oh well.
That's what I fear because my LED light
Yeah.
is like the
Yeah, it's
only
gone.
source of light I have in this booth. So once I have
Here.
that, I have to take that
If I
all of
open the
this.
door,
Ah,
I'll
yeah,
have some more ambient light from outside.
that's true.
That'll
Oh
work.
man, I don't want to open the door again. Actually, no, I do. I have to leave it somehow at the booth somehow, so I do have to open the door.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just still traumatized by carrying the door up the stairs because it's like 80 kgs. So
Oh my
it's
god, the studio bricks door, man.
yeah. I'm not
It's
looking.
so bad.
I'm not looking forward to moving. I really am not.
Mm-mm.
That's the day I
Mm-mm.
dread. because like everything else was
Yo,
fine, but the booth itself, hell no, man. I
hire
am
someone, like get a
yes,
helper with the
I'm getting
booth,
movers, but I
and
will.
then apologize to them profusely.
Oh, absolutely. I will try my best to help them out as well, just to be hands-on about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
because I have to like I guess show them how to like take everything down, right? I would
Mm-hmm.
assume so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so what I did when I moved mine, if this is helpful to you, I got a bunch of moving blankets and we took
Ooh.
it apart, and then each piece got wrapped in a moving blanket or
Okay.
two because I had a lot. And then used like the basically the giant roll of like moving saran wrap that you
Okay.
buy and like wrapped it around, so then every individual piece was like blanketed and protected,
Okay. That's
and
good.
it worked pretty well. Nothing got like actually dented, and I only had a couple of chips in
Oh.
the vinyl that's on top of it.
Okay. That's all right. I still have like the boxes for like the equipment and stuff side of it, so
That's
I
good.
can I can still put that inside, but I probably will have to get those moving blankets.
Yeah, you can rent them, so that's nice. Like U-Haul, you can just rent them for like the day.
Oh, true. I don't think we have U-Haul here, but
Oh
we'll have some.
yeah,
We have
I keep saying American companies to you, and I keep forgetting.
like
Yeah, I'm sure you have something.
I'm sure we got like what's it like main freight or something, whatever it's called. Yeah, like we just got Costco, all right. So we're still catching up.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
exciting. Big win
Uh,
for Costco.
not really.
No.
It's okay. I've been inside, but like it's all right. Like we just got Denny's and Taco Bell, you know. So I finally tried the Grand Slam. It was actually pretty nice.
Yeah,
Um,
Denny's is nice. It's best at like 2 in the morning.
exactly. Yeah, it's always good in the morning. It's never good
Yeah.
during the day.
No.
But yeah. Um, yeah. Before you mentioned you were into theater before you started voice acting, so I'd love to hear more
Yeah.
about your theater experience.
Sure. I got into it in college. I was really interested in doing musicals, and so I started doing stuff at a local community theater. Really only ever did a handful of those, honestly. What I ended up getting really into was immersion theater. I found this audition on like I think maybe Facebook or something.
Hmm.
It honestly looked very sus. I was pretty sure I was getting scammed
No.
for a company called American Immersion Theater. And what they mostly do is immersive murder mystery parties.
Ooh.
We were on Shark Tank this year, which was pretty cool. But back in 2019, yeah, right. It's like a
What?
clearly not a scam now. I mean, we're a very legit company, but the Instagram ad was a little sus.
Wait, hold on. I love Shark Tank. I gotta
Oh,
watch.
you
But
do?
I love Shark
Yeah.
Tank.
If you
Holy
look
shit.
up, either under American Immersion Theater or Murder Mystery Company on Shark Tank. But yeah, our founder went and like pitched, and appropriately, it was Jason Blum who made a deal. So horror
Oh,
movies,
you got
murder
the deal. That's
mysteries,
awesome.
yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
so basically we do immersive performances where the actors kind of help drive the show forward and help lead everyone in solving this like game of the murder
Mm.
mystery. But the thing is that most of the characters are played by guests. So every
Ooh.
show has somewhere between like 10 to 12-ish suspects,
Okay.
and before the show, we kind of chat with people and decide who we're going to give these characters to play. And they get a binder with all of the information that they need about themselves, and they have a team to like help them read the binder and help them take note of all of their clues. And then everyone throughout the night gets to work together to watch someone die, help figure out who did it, and the suspects get to be publicly interrogated by everyone. And it's so fun because one, the average person doesn't get to like play pretend and be silly a lot of the time. Like that's
Yeah.
an actor thing, that's not a normal person thing.
Yeah.
So to get to show up in a group of people who have booked this party to have fun and just be like, okay, for the next 2 hours, like we're playing pretend again, baby. They have so much fun with it, and it's so cool to facilitate that. And they're also really fun from a performer perspective because since most of the characters are played by guests, like you don't really, they have their line, quote unquote, that they're supposed to give you, but they go off the rails pretty frequently, especially if there's alcohol involved. So
Oh,
we just get
okay.
to have
You guys get alcohol. Okay. Never
we
mind. Yeah.
do well, I mean, we don't. The actors obviously don't,
Oh,
but the
okay.
guests, I mean, we come to their party. So like if they're having a birthday party and they're drinking and also doing the murder mystery, like that's their business. They can do
Not
whatever
fair
they
enough.
want. So
Yeah.
it's really fun to just get to like kind of riff off whatever these guests give you as their responses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really fun and fresh every time. So that's what I really got into acting, was doing that. And I actually now run the team where I live.
Nice.
Um, So yeah, that's my day job, I call it.
Hell yeah.
Is dying for a living is our Instagram hashtag.
Oh, lovely.
Because the actors usually get killed.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I mean this in in the most non-offensive way possible. It's like childhood entertainers but for adults, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, honestly, at least like that's what I think it is in spirit. Yeah, because you're inviting everyone to like come and play pretend like they're a kid again.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So you like
yeah, totally.
you come to people's parties instead of like wearing costumes, you get well, I mean you wear costumes, but like it's not
We
like
do wear costumes, yeah, and whether or not they dress up is up to them.
yeah, but like you're not gonna be like Spider-Man or something.
No, although we also do that.
Oh, okay, never mind.
American Immersion Theater owns both the Murder Mystery Company and also the Princess Party Company, so we do
Oh, okay.
kids parties as well.
Oh
But
yeah.
most of the murder mysteries are more popular.
Hell yeah. Have you ever done princess parties in your life?
I've done a couple. I like the murder mysteries better.
Yeah, fair.
Um, just I think my kind of style of acting, I'm not very good at like knowing what my hands are doing.
That's
And
fair.
princesses are supposed to have like the ballet hands and whatever.
Yeah, the
I don't know what my hands are doing.
whatever they're
So
doing.
yeah, it's kind of not my thing. I can't keep my face regal looking for 2 hours at once. But
Do you do you have a tip for dying in
a
the
tip for
immersion?
dying? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I people go through like how to die boot camp,
Oh,
honestly.
lovely.
So we have this thing that we use to drag the dead bodies off, and it's actually like an EMT product for like
Oh wow,
moving
okay.
unconscious people. We got a call from the government once because
Oh.
we were buying so many of them.
Oh. Right.
And they were like, "We're just checking in. Why do you need these?" And we had to explain, "Oh, they're to move very alive actors. Sorry." But so basically, when you die, number one priority is get yourself to the ground safely, right? So you
Yeah.
can't just like fall straight down. So you want to kind of like we often die of some sort of poison because that's more easy to facilitate than someone getting like shot, right?
Yeah.
Special effects wise. And so you want to cough and sputter and maybe like lean halfway down on a table, and then you're gonna drop down to the floor, and now you're on your hands and knees, and then from your hands and knees you can kind of just like flop onto your back.
Yeah.
And you gotta die on your back because that's the only way it looks realistic. Because if you die on
Ah.
your side or whatever, then you're gonna be kind of inclined to support your head, as
Yeah,
you
it's
should
true.
be, but then it doesn't look natural. So you gotta die on your back, and then you just kind of let your eyes dissociate into the distance till they look glazed over and
Oh yeah.
dead. And then keep your breathing shallow is the last thing. Like actors
Okay.
learn diaphragm breathing, do
Mm.
the opposite of that. Because you want to not be able to like see your belly. You want to just like kind of breathe from your clavicles.
I was gonna say like do you like how do you find it like, staying still and like not breathing, at all to like sort of like replicate the feeling of, death, right?
It's an art form, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes some time to get good at, but you don't have to do it for very long. We get the dead body out of there pretty quick.
Yeah. It's not like
Yeah.
on screen where people like, die on screen. They have to like, be like still for like a long period of time. Like
Yeah, this is not like that. We're still for a much shorter amount of time. I don't know how they do it on like TV shows where they're doing like 3,000 takes and the body's just like
yeah.
lying there.
Have you
It's
ever
very that's beyond me.
out of curiosity, have you also done like screen acting as well?
Not really. No, that's the one thing I've never really done. I have always said though that like when I hit the age where I can start playing the weird one-off like elderly neighbor who just kind of like comes in and is a menace to society every like 5 episodes or something. That's what I want. Then I'm ready to do on camera stuff.
Okay, so
is when
you already know your typecast for
I
live
know
action.
well, yeah. I don't know what my typecast would be right now, but I know the typecast I have my eye on for the future, and it's the kooky old lady.
Actually, because I do on-screen acting as well. So let me think of a typecast for you. Okay, this might sound really stupid, but like I
Okay.
feel like you would be like one of those people, like what are they called? Like a zoologist, and you would like catch butterflies and like this big old butterfly net. I feel like that would be
That's
you.
a very niche typecast. I'm not sure how many roles would be
You'd be
available.
surprised. There's a lot of zoologists out
Really?
there. So like,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
good to know.
yeah, we
I'm
got.
I'm getting new headshots done next week, so I'll be sure we've got one that can pander to the
Oh
zoologist
hell yeah,
angle.
let's go, let's go. But yeah, after like recording that one job, Like, because I know you read by Atlas as well. How'd you like fall into like the other things as well from
To
there?
the other side of voiceover, yeah.
Yeah,
So I spent, after I started trying to like, okay, let's try this voiceover thing, I spent probably a full calendar year basically just auditioning for indie stuff on Twitter, which is a
yeah.
great place to start. I didn't book any of it though, actually. Indie Twitter and yeah, they don't like me. They don't want me.
Oh,
It's fine. And I was really, really scared to take any classes where I had to actually like read in front of people. So that kind of held me back for a while, I
that's fair.
think. But I kind of say that my career really started like as an actual career when I took my first commercial class with voiceover camp.
Mm.
Because I wanted to get more into commercials, and of course, when you start out on indie Twitter, there's no commercials or
Oh
anything
yeah,
on
no.
there. So I knew nothing about that half of the industry, and I was like, well, sounds interesting. So I found this class at voiceover camp, and they were just so amazing. I
Mm.
take so many classes there now. I teach there now.
Oh,
Best
cool.
best place ever. I love them to bits. And that was one of my first classes where I actually had to read in front of people, and so kind of like getting past that fear, I was presented with a much more clear path forward of like, okay, we're gonna do these classes, we're gonna eventually get a demo done. Um, and how I ended up repped with Atlas was also kind of a fluke. I mean, not really. I just finished my commercial demo, and so I knew that I wanted to start like submitting to agents.
Yeah,
And I signed up for a class with Heather Dame from Atlas.
yeah.
Literally, I cannot stress this enough, as practice,
Oh,
because
interesting.
I was like, this is so out of my league that there's no stakes,
Okay,
right?
that's fair. Yeah.
Like, I know I'm not going to embarrass myself. Like, I know I'm competent enough not to roll in and like not know what I'm doing at all, right? Like, she's not going to hate me.
Oh yeah.
So, but there's no way I'm going to get represented by Atlas as my first ever agent. So this will be great practice. No pressure, just have a good time, get a feel for agent classes,
Yeah.
and then be on my way. Well, it turned out she really liked me, and so then I emailed her the next day and ended up freelancing with them, and then that led to signing and all that. So
Hell yeah.
also kind of a fluke, because
Hey,
yeah,
that's
I
really
was
impressive though.
literally just there to practice taking agent classes so that I could sign up for some with agents I thought I had a shot with. So
Hell
worked
yeah,
out in my
fair enough.
favor.
Hey, fair enough, honestly. And like as your first agent, that's really good, So fair enough,
It
fair
was
play.
really good. Also kind of, I mean, pros and cons, right? Like they're an amazing agency. I love working with them. It's
Yeah.
also kind of wild to suddenly be like such a small fish in a big pond
Oh, I
right
guess
out the
that's fair.
gate. Like I had
Yeah.
I had no credits to my name other than like some commercials and explainer videos. Absolutely nothing. Like it was really wild to suddenly be thrown into all of the opportunities that they have access to.
Yeah, fair enough. But like I guess there's something bad with more opportunities, I guess.
No, certainly not. And like, I kind of just had to believe, okay, if she liked me enough to want to work with me, I must be at least reasonably competitive for these auditions,
Yeah.
and not totally making a fool of myself. So,
Hell yeah. Let's go. I think you also mentioned a while ago, I've seen like interviews and stuff like that about you playing a certain autistic character. Uh
yeah.
yeah, so like what's it like playing, someone like that shares like that similar sort of like trait with you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, that was an absolute, like, dream that I didn't even think to dream of come true because there are not that many autistic characters
Mm.
in any type of media, but especially in games. I mean, I'm not going to say there aren't any, but certainly none that I'm personally familiar with.
Yeah, not like
Um
openly, I would say.
not like open, no, there's like tons and tons of characters that everyone kind of headcanons as autistic.
Yeah.
But it's a very different thing to like, okay, this kind of has some traits versus yes, we did this on purpose. This is for you. Um, and so I basically, when I got that audition, I kind of looked at it and assessed, the script that I was given and stuff, and they did a really good job with the writing. I could
Hell
tell
yeah.
immediately there were some autistic people behind the scenes. And I basically decided right away that like the only correct way to do that was going to be for me to just fully unmask in front of the microphone and let all of my autistic traits that I happen to have out.
Yeah.
And that was either going to be a fit for their vision for the character or it wasn't. But if I tried to portray anything deliberately, it wouldn't have been real. and then it would have been bad. Like there's lots of different ways to be autistic, and I had no way of knowing what they wanted. But I was like, if I fake it, then that's not real and that's not going to be good representation. So it
Yeah.
has to be what's real to me. And if that's a fit, great.
Hell
And
yeah.
it was, thankfully, lucky for
Yeah.
me, a fit.
Hell yeah. But yeah, your character looks really cool. So like, I don't know if you've been playing. I don't play the game a lot, but I've seen gameplay of like certain other characters, and I'm like, yes, there we go. Like being
Yeah,
among that.
she's pretty great. I love her.
Hell yeah. I remember Tom Kenny, in like an interview. I think someone asked him, "Is SpongeBob autistic?" And he was like, "Obviously, yeah, of course
Yeah,
he is."
I thought that was a really sweet answer because I think, was SpongeBob designed to be autistic? I would venture probably not. I don't
Yeah,
think that the creators had that in mind, but from my understanding, it was a little kid that was asking him that,
yeah,
and I think since there's such an absence of autistic characters that are deliberately autistic in media,
yeah,
I thought it was beautiful for him to reply and go, "Absolutely, if you see yourself in that, then yes."
yeah.
I think that's a very good answer.
It's really interesting because like a lot of people are like, I don't know, they see autism as like a bad thing, which
Yeah,
I don't, I don't know. But I haven't grown up with it, so I personally don't know from experience. But yeah, like with like your experience, like growing up with it and stuff like that, like how's that kind of like changed how you've kind of like lived your life? If that makes sense.
well, I mean it's one of those things that fundamentally alters every aspect of the way
Yeah.
that you experience the world. Something that was very interesting for me in particular, I was not diagnosed with autism until I was an adult.
Oh, okay.
And the reason for that, in no small part, is because both of my parents are autistic. So they
Oh, okay.
they were presented with this child who has to wear their socks inside out because they don't like the feeling of the seam on their toes, and they went, "Yeah, that sounds fine. Like, that's fair. The seam's pretty uncomfortable. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Turn your socks inside out, kid." And no one went, that's a symptom of autism. So I didn't know that I was autistic growing
Hmm.
up. And I think I would have loved to. I think that would have been very helpful. Um, but what it meant for me is that I just really had to find my own way of navigating the world, especially social interactions. That
Yeah.
tends to be a place that autistic people do not shine innately, is in social situations.
Yeah.
But the best way that I've ever heard it put is that for allistic people, which means not autistic, allistic, those are the
Okay.
two halves, socializing is very intuitive. Like
Yeah.
you just kind of know how to do that. And for autistic people, it's intellectual. So
Hmm.
I felt like I had to kind of learn the rules,
Okay.
and then I was able to effectively do it. So it takes, I have very high social skills. I don't have a
Yeah.
ton of observable social deficits. That's another reason I didn't get diagnosed, because no one's clocking interactions with me is like strange.
Oh, that's fair.
But it's like, it's mental. It's, I'm actively thinking about, okay, am I making choices that are in alignment with how people expect me to behave, which can be very exhausting to go
Yeah.
through life doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and I think I'm very much in the camp of like, autism absolutely is a disability. There are parts of my life that it makes very, very difficult. There are parts of everyone who's autistic whose lives it makes very, very difficult. But I don't think it has to be this inherently negative thing. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, problems and all, I really do love how my brain works.
Yeah.
And if I was given the option to change it, I don't think I would. I think
Yeah.
I would rather keep learning how to deal with the parts of it that I don't like and keep the parts that I do like.
Yeah, I don't really like the whole like if you have autism, burn the witch like kind of mentality that people kind of have to it. It
Yeah.
doesn't. I don't really see like the negatives too much about it, or not at all. Actually, I understand like it can be like hard to like process different things, but
Yeah.
like that doesn't mean like you're less of a human or anything like that.
Absolutely. And there are certainly different levels to it. I mean, people who never gain the ability to speak is obviously a
Mm,
much more substantial deficit than
yeah,
someone like myself has with pretty low support needs. But still, I think to say that like that's something about them that needs fixing is so dismissive of the
mm,
rich inner worlds that I'm sure that they still have. Like, just
yeah,
because they haven't figured out how to verbalize that does not mean that they're not necessarily very happy with some parts of their own brain. So
yeah,
I'm really glad to see some of that changing, and
Yeah.
I'm really glad to be a part of bringing a role to life that can make that be like more culturally normal to
Hell
have
yeah.
people as part of that.
Hell yeah, man. I got diagnosed late, like as an adult as well, not for autism, but for OCD this year. Okay,
Hmm.
it's been like a couple months. It's been like March, so it's been like 5 months now. But yeah, I got diagnosed when I was like 21 at the time. So so yeah, it's something like because you were diagnosed when you were an adult as well in your adult
Yeah.
stage. So like it's interesting like to navigate, but like the more it's kind of for me it was like interesting to like kind of piece together my past because when I told
Yes.
when I told my friends and family about it, they were like, okay, that makes so much sense now.
Right?
Yeah.
When you start to realize, like, oh, that's why I've always been this way.
Exactly. In a weird way,
I
it's
had to
kind of
fight
nice.
to convince my mom a little bit. Because it
Really?
was this, well, yeah, because I'm like, hey, mom, it turns out I'm autistic, and I'm like telling her all these things, and she's telling like no, everyone's like that, and I'm like, mom, you're also autistic.
It's like it could be like a generational gene thing
Yeah,
too.
it's autism is very genetic. If
Yeah.
someone is diagnosed with autism, it's very, very likely that one of their parents are. I'm very confident that both of mine are, so I got the double whammy.
Nice. Let's go. But yeah, I was wanting to ask, what are your plushies in the background? Because you got quite a lot.
Yeah, I've got a couple plushies here. So this is a squishmallow.
Mm.
It's a dodo bird. It's in here
Oh,
because it's teal. I'm trying. I've got my booth on the outside is teal, so I'm trying
okay.
to keep that vibe kind of inside.
Okay.
And then here we have a poro.
Mm-hmm.
On top of the poro, out of frame, we have a pachimari.
Mm.
These are all plushies I got as a teenager for video games that I play. We got a smaller poro, and
Mm.
he's holding a snack.
Oh,
And then we have a little bunny, little
hell
bunny
yeah.
here, because I love bunnies. And also not in frame is a cat made into musubi
Aw.
that my partner got me when he was on a trip.
Wait, is that like the spam ham kind of
Yeah, it's
thing?
like a
Yeah.
little spam musubi
Oh,
cat.
that's so sweet.
Isn't it cute? I love it. So yeah, I love decorating my booth. One of my favorite things to do with trinkets is hang them up in here so that it's just a nice
I've
little
been
cozy space.
I've been thinking about getting more plushies. I showed you Freddy
You
Fazbear
should.
earlier,
Yeah, do it.
but
Get all the plushies.
I've got like this little octopus here. He's very happy, but
Oh, I have some of those,
you
the
can turn him inside
reversible.
out. It's like very sad, but
Yeah.
yeah, I want to get some more though, because it's
Oh,
really
and I
nice.
forgot about this guy. He's on top of my monitors.
Oh
I
hell
also
yeah!
have
It's
this
like a
penguin
watermelon.
watermelon. Yeah, and the watermelon's like a cooling fabric, so this is nice when it's hot in the booth to kind of just.
Oh, that's so cool. Hell
He's
yeah!
cute.
I love that. Where'd you get him from?
This is from Daiso.
Okay.
Love Daiso. They have really good plushies and they're very affordable. Um, this I think was from like Walgreens. They sell
Okay.
Squishmallows a lot of places. And
Yeah.
then I don't even remember. I mean, these are like official merch, so I don't know where I got them. Oh, actually, I do
Not
know where I
true.
got this one. I got this at the 2016 World Championships for
Oh,
League.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, what's it gonna be like when you have like, a marketable plushie of a character that you voice, you know?
I'm not gonna have any money.
But you know what? Fair enough. That's the appropriate
Yeah,
response.
it's all
Yeah.
gonna be gone. I mean, I guess someone may have to get usurped, unfortunately.
Aw.
Might be what happens.
Oh, they can like hang around on the wall, right? Because you can stick stuff on there.
Well,
Maybe.
I'm not gonna pin a
Well, no, no.
plushie to the
Oh no, not
wall.
gonna. Maybe not pin them, but maybe like if you got like blue tack or something, you can just stick
Yeah.
them on there.
Yeah. I'll find room. I'll
Yeah,
find room. There's always, I mean, I have a whole office to decorate with plushies too.
that's true. There's
Actually
also.
my office closet, I put a
Oh.
kid's bed from IKEA in it. And it's filled with pillows, and so my office closet, I call it my autism cave.
My we don't have IKEA here, but I've been to IKEA in like Australia and stuff.
Mhm.
I love IKEA so much.
IKEA is really good. Okay, so you don't care that you got Costco, but you do want IKEA. Good to
Yeah, I
know.
like IKEA way more than Costco because like
That's fair.
I don't like the membership part of it. Like I think it's like
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
really only it's a good store if you shop there a lot and it's not
yeah,
very useful.
I don't
Or if
really
you're like me and you just kind of mooch your parents' Costco membership till the end of time.
nice. Like I don't really buy in bulk a lot, so like that's kind of why. But I
It's
also
not
like
good if you're like one or two people in a household
exactly,
either.
you
It's
know.
not really,
But like
yeah.
I also like the IKEA meatballs as well.
The
That's
meatballs are so good.
yeah. It's like it's true what they
Yeah.
say, and like I'm gonna be going back to Australia this year, so I'm definitely gonna be going to IKEA again, which is like
Hell yeah.
one of the main reasons I'm going to Australia is to go to fucking
Is to go to
IKEA.
IKEA.
Because
That's a good reason.
hell yeah, I just it's thankfully Australia's not too far away. It's like it's really weird because like Australia's considered like down under for like everyone else in the world, but for like
But it's
me,
up.
yeah, for me in Antarctica, it's up over actually. So like it's not down under for us, which is really interesting. I just kind of realized that. Also, is that a lanyard over there? I'm just noticing things as well.
Yeah, this is an Anima Squad lanyard from an event that I was kind enough to be invited to pre-Aurora
Nice.
launch.
Hell yeah. Like have you ever like been to like actually I'll rephrase, like have you ever like been a guest at like, a con or something, for a character? And if
Not
so,
yet.
oh
Not
okay.
yet. Everything has released for me quite recently, and cons book pretty far
Ah,
out.
that's
But
true.
I'm hoping next year. I'd love to go to some.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Yeah.
I'm going to just as a attendee. I'm going to SAC Anime at the end of this month, so I'm excited for that.
Nice.
Gonna wander around, see how much money I can spend on keychains and myself.
Oh yeah.
Classic voice actor weekend activity.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm really excited to start doing that. I
Hell
love
yeah.
to travel, and I have lots of friends who live in different parts of the country, and so I'm excited to get to go see them without having to buy my own plane ticket.
Oh, true. I didn't know they paid for a plane ticket. That's badass.
Yeah, they quite often do. If you're a guest at a con, if you need to fly, that's usually included. And so,
Oh,
yeah,
that's so
Sam
good.
Slade and I have just been conspiring of like we buy tickets to each other's houses too much. We gotta we gotta meet at cons instead.
Hell yeah. Oh, that means you must have seen like Sam's dongs and stuff, right?
Oh yeah. I love me and Rico. We're pretty sure Rico's autistic. Dogs can be autistic, fun fact, and we're pretty sure her dog is. So yeah, we vibe. We
Yeah.
vibe. Love
Yeah,
Yoshi too. We're
I saw
pals.
I saw him in the orange. I definitely see it.
He's
Yeah.
just baby. Yeah. Cuz it's a very he's in the cone, the orange cuz he keeps like biting his own skin and stuff,
Mm.
and I'm like I do that.
Yeah. Me too. Mm,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I don't know. I haven't done like an autism test or something, but like I would be interested. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised um considering how people perceive me, but I don't know. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
I think that the fun thing about, well, I think this is really true of like most diagnoses. And the thing that I think people don't get about autism a lot of the time is like anything that reaches a diagnostic level, like I don't have any unique experiences that allistic people don't experience. I just have them more often and more intensely.
Yeah.
So I think when you really get down to it, like we all have the same human
Yeah.
experience. It's just like different levels of intensity. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, what kind of plant is I'm just analyzing your brew at this point. Like
Oh yeah.
what plant is that over
Um,
there?
I'm not entirely sure what plant this is meant to be. It's like a fake flower garland from
Oh, okay.
Michael's. I do have, you can kind of see the very edge of it here with the purple. I have going across the booth door
Mm.
some fake wisteria,
Ooh, okay.
which is really nice. It makes it look like a little fairy portal from outside, but I'm not sure what this is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It pink.
Yeah. Oh, it's pink. I thought it was red.
Oh, it's no, it's a really deep pink. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I also gotta ask, before you started doing voice acting, was it like any like, cartoons or video games or something that kind of made you a little bit sort of inspired to do it? Or was it like completely by accident that you kind of fell into it?
It was really completely by accident. I mean, I have like cartoons and video games that I've enjoyed my
Yeah.
whole life for sure. But there were none like because it literally had never actually like I'd never gone like, oh, someone did that, you know? Like it
Oh,
just
okay.
I
Interesting.
mean,
Yeah.
like I guess I knew, because like I understand the concept of actors, but yeah, I just never had that moment in my brain of like people do this specific part of acting for a living.
Yeah.
Um, one that is like a very early childhood game that I still really love the voiceover performances in, though, is a children's puzzle game called Zoombinis.
Ooh.
Which is just a very fun little like logic puzzle game. I love logic puzzles. And there's not that much dialogue in it, but all of the little like characters that are in the game that have like their little one lines, they're all so fun and so well done. And when I would play that game as a kid, I would very much like echolalia the lines, which is when you hear something and immediately want to repeat it because you liked the way it sounded.
Oh, that's what that's
So
what that's called. Okay, because I
yeah,
do that a lot with like performances I like. I didn't
yeah.
know they had a name for that.
Echolalia is very fun. Yeah.
Hell
Except
yeah.
when you like hear a noise and then you just like keep saying it on repeat and you're like, I can't stop.
Oh, that happened to me so much when I started voiceover because like I started just mimicking performances
Mhm.
because I was really green at the time. I was like 16, so I was like, oh, I can't stop thinking about this phrase over and over and over and over again. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
um,
so that's one of my earliest voiceover performances that I enjoyed as a kid.
hell yeah. Are there like any projects or anything that you would like to, kind of be in? This is like purely manifestation at this
Yeah,
point.
so this is never gonna happen because they
Well,
mostly hire on-camera comedians, but Bob's Burgers. I love that
oh,
show.
okay.
And that's a piece of media where I don't think they intended any of the characters to be autistic, but boy are they.
I haven't seen a lot of
So,
Bob's Burger. I've seen like a few episodes, but I liked it so
yeah,
far.
it's a good show. It's a good show. So my manifesting would be if they ever have a canonically autistic character, I would like to be it.
Hell yeah. Would you also settle for like additional voices as well and stuff?
Oh yeah, I'll voice a rock in Bob's Burgers, like whatever they want me to do.
Hell yeah.
But if we're dreaming big, it'd be so cool if someday they had an autistic character in that show.
Honestly, yeah. I feel because Bob's Burgers is still going, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
I feel like you will at some point.
Well, again, they pull on camera comedians in to do it, which is
That's
great because they all
kind
do such
kind
a
of
good
true.
job.
Yeah.
But someday, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. When didn't they just make a movie or something? What was that like, ages ago? I don't remember.
It was like at least a year ago, but they did do a Bob's Burgers movie. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. I like the I love how unique Bob from Bob's Burgers voice is because
Hmm.
I don't know the actor's name, but like it's very I love how unique it is. Like it just fits him so well. Like I'd
Yeah,
wonder like what the
it's just
casting
his
was.
speaking voice. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's a great actor. He also he's in a lot of stuff, but I know he's also was in Archer, which was another really
Yeah,
popular
it's
TV
right.
show.
I haven't seen Archer yet. I hear it's really good though, from what
It's a
I
good
hear.
show.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like with adult animation, I haven't seen like a huge amount. This again, but this is coming from someone who at the peak of 2017 watched like the Family Guy marathons constantly. So this is someone who likes Family Guy and like The Simpsons. Also Rick and Morty as well. But like American Dad, but like not like everything. I don't know. I'll have to get more into the other ones, but I feel like I will at
Yeah,
some point.
there's a lot of really good modern adult animation.
Yeah.
They're doing cool stuff.
I don't know if Hazbin Hotel counts, but I
I
would
don't know.
I would almost say so considering how
The
like the
fan
language.
base is definitely largely adult, but that I don't know what the like target
Yeah.
audience from the creator's perspective is.
Yeah, cuz like if you're basing off like the language and profanities every 5 seconds, then oh yeah, it's absolutely adult. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about like games and stuff if you're allowed to say?
Yeah, so for games, I've been playing a bunch of the Hoyo games because, of course, when my friends are in things, I gotta play them.
Yeah.
So that's been a fun time. Longtime League player, obviously. Played that for like 10 years. I also really, really love it's now Story of Seasons, but like the Harvest Moon franchise.
Oh, okay.
One of my first games that I ever played was Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town,
Mm.
which is still one of my favorites to this day. So, of course, jumping off of that, I love Stardew Valley a lot.
Yeah.
I wanna try Baldur's Gate. I've put it off for a really long time because I'm a completionist. So I'm like, I must try every single possibility.
Mm.
And I know that I will not manage that
It'll
in
take a
Baldur's
while.
Gate. So
That's for sure.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to, I have to like emotionally prepare myself to not do every single possible option.
I mean, by the time
Gate.
you finish all those options, Baldur's Gate 4 will come out.
Baldur's Gate, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I do want to try that. I also really want to play Unpacking. That's been on my list for a
Oh,
while.
I've
Where
never
you're
heard
just
that game
like,
before. What's
it's
Unpacking?
a really cute game. It's on a lot of different platforms. I want to play it on Switch personally.
Hmm.
And you're like unpacking boxes as you move into houses, but
Oh,
you're
that's
doing
cool.
it as one character. So it's like every move of that person's life,
Oh yeah.
and so there's like some really interesting storytelling elements of it,
Ah,
like
nice.
spoilers for Unpacking. I've seen this on the internet that like at one point she moves in with a boyfriend,
Oh,
and the only two places, because things like fit in certain places in the house, right?
yeah.
The only two places she can put her college diploma are under the bed or in the bathroom. So it's like this
Oh,
storytelling of this boyfriend not making space in his life for her because of where you're able
oh,
to put the college, right? Like, that's such amazing and impressive storytelling for a game about unpacking and organizing objects.
oh my God, that's really good. I have
Right?
to,
So I really want to play that.
because I've been jamming a lot of Power Wash Simulator recently, so it's kind of
I haven't heard
in.
of that one. What is it?
Oh, okay. So it's like when it's pretty much a simulator, right? Where you just clean stuff
Uh huh.
with a power wash. Like that's literally it. You clean the house of all the grime, all the dirt, and it's really nice. It's really
Uh huh.
satisfying.
Oh, power washing. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like you just clean and like I don't know why, but it just makes you really
It's
happy.
satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't have like a like immediate access to a power wash, So like this is the
I
closest
wish
I'll
I
get.
did. The things in my life I would love to power wash.
Yeah, but like I also hear like like the intensity of the water can hurt people, and like
Mm-hmm.
damn, that kind of scares me because I love water,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I like I when I see water, I just want to grab it, you know, or try to, if it's like sprinkling out. But like if it's like power wash, it could possibly destroy my hand. So like I don't want to, you know.
Yeah, that's quite a lot, maybe more power than I want to wield with a
Yeah,
hose.
exactly. It's like a lot of power, but I'm not responsible. But but yeah, I also wanted to ask, um, my brain is going haywire right now. It's early in the morning, as you could possibly tell. But yeah, I was gonna say like, what's it like? Because I know you've been brought up in America. So like, were you always raised
Yeah.
in LA, or did you come from somewhere else?
Yeah, I grew up in Sonoma County in California. So about like 8-ish hours north of LA maybe.
Okay, yeah,
Um although actually I moved there when I was 8. Where I lived until I was 8 was in a town, well, the town I lived in was called Philo, but it was next to the very very slightly larger town of Boonville, which is derived from the word boondocks, aka
yeah,
the middle of nowhere.
that's what that means.
And I
Okay.
lived on a sheep ranch.
Oh, cool.
But I don't know how to ranch sheep. We just rented the house. We
Okay.
were not responsible for the sheep.
Did you get to interact with the sheep though?
Sometimes my dad and I, there were apple trees on the property, and one of our favorite activities after apple season was picking the apples off the ground and going what he called bowling for sheep, which is where we
Pulling
would
for
roll the
sheep.
apples into the field for the sheep to
Aw,
eat.
that's so sweet.
Theoretically, probably could have gone up to pet them, but I mean, they weren't like pet sheep, they were for
Oh yeah,
wool and
yeah,
meat and livestock contests, so they weren't necessarily like super interested in having humans interact with them.
that's fair. I in New Zealand it's like one person, there's like three sheep. So we have more sheep than humans here.
I've read that. You know
It's
what? I think
true.
that's a good thing for a
Yeah.
country to have. I think there should be more sheep than people.
Yeah, I love interacting with the sheep, except this one sheep. Um this is
This
like
was a single sheep. You have
this
beef with a specific
yes,
individual sheep.
this singular sheep. His name is Jack. He's a piece of shit. So my friend, I'm still friends with him now. I don't think he has him anymore. I think they finally moved him. Thank God for that. But pretty much he had like this ram like in the backyard as like
Uh-huh. Rams are kind of dicks. That's
yeah,
yeah.
but like but the thing is like he's pretty much a pit. Like they don't use him for livestock or wool or anything. He's just a pit ram, you know.
Yeah.
And no matter what, I don't know what his problem is, but he always charges at people. Like no matter what. Like
Because he's a ram. Yeah.
yeah, but like he doesn't have the horns. So like the
Oh,
horns are not there.
interesting.
So he'll just
Okay.
bump his head at you, and there's no positive interaction. I've seen him like 15 times in my life, and it's
And he
always the
still
same.
charges you.
He still
Wow.
charges at me. Like there's something about me, but it's not just me. It's everyone. You know.
Does he charge at his owners
Oh yeah.
too?
Oh, he does.
So
Yeah.
he hates everybody.
Oh yeah. Like doesn't matter if you're a child, man, woman, non-binary, you're
He
getting
just
hit.
okay.
It doesn't
Well,
matter. Like he's very progressive in that sort of sense. But
well, that's good.
but like I'm glad he's moved because fuck that guy. I hate him.
Well, I can't say I ever had beef with any of the sheep that I lived with. They were all right.
How but like on the other side, there's this I think I was like a child. I was like what, like 11, 12. There I forget what the person's name is. It's been a while. It's been over 10 years. But like there was this one sheep who was like the nicest little sheep of all time. Like
Oh,
I just showed up to their farm, and then the sheep just like it bowed at me while it just ran towards me with like a little smile on its face. It's the
that's
cutest thing.
so cute.
Like it was
Sheep
excited.
are really sweet.
Yeah, it was excited to see me. I've never seen this sheep in my life, and like
That's so cute.
that's like my best sheep experience, I would say. But yeah, most sheep here are pretty relatively chill for the most part. It's just the rams you gotta look out for.
Yeah.
And the goats. The goats are really aggressive here
Oh,
too.
goats are very chaotic.
Yeah. The
Goats are like
cows.
if there was a livestock alignment chart, goats are chaotic evil for sure.
Oh yeah, and then like there's a lot of like if you drive in New Zealand for like a long period of time, you're gonna see cows everywhere, and cows just don't give a shit. They're just there, you know. They'll hang out.
Okay,
There's
I'm curious. Define a long period of time for driving because this is a thing I found as a Californian that other my definition of a long drive is like so different from other people.
okay. So a
So
long
what's a
drive,
long drive for you in New Zealand?
probably like 8 hours. You know.
Oh, okay. Okay, that is yes, that is when I consider something a long drive.
Yeah, you know. But like I know like from like each like state or something, it takes like long periods of time of driving.
Oh yeah, in
But
America for sure.
but as someone who like comes from like a really small country, like I can't fathom that. You know, like
Yeah,
once because
it's pretty wild.
driving for 4 hours kills me already. Like I can't imagine driving like a full 8 without stopping over at least once. You know.
Oh yeah, you gotta. I can make because I drive back and forth between LA and NorCal a lot, and
Yeah.
it's like about 6 hours, and I have to make one stop for gas because
Oh
the
yeah.
tank can't go all the way, and then that's it. So that's my anything longer than 6 hours feels long to me,
Yeah.
but 6 hours is like I'm good.
That's kind of
But
scary
yeah,
though,
it's
to like
eh,
fill up on gas and stuff like that at like a certain point. Because if you miss it, you're gonna have to wait a
oh,
while to turn back.
there's lots of gas stations available.
Okay, that's good.
On
Because
the way
like
down. Yeah, there's tons because it's a really big trucking route between those two locations, so
okay.
there's lots of gas options available.
Yeah. Also,
Um,
you guys drive on the right side of the road, right? Is that true?
we do. Yeah, we drive on the right side of the road
That's
and
right.
the weirdly though then our steering wheel's on the left. Like that's always it's funny to me how the countries that drive on the left, the steering's on the right and then
Yeah,
the like cuz
exactly. Yeah, because
I
we drive
feel
on
like
the
wouldn't it make more sense the other way?
not because we drive on the right on the left side, but the steering wheel's on the right.
The right side, yeah.
It's really interesting. I don't know why it's like that, but like I don't think I'll drive in America because I don't think I legally can. But I haven't been to America yet, but I plan to visit next year. So that'll be fun.
Cool.
Yeah. But
I
I
don't
want.
recommend driving here. Everyone who
Oh yeah.
drives here, well, at least in California, they're all angry. Everyone's
Oh yeah.
angry on the road.
Oh yeah. Sounds like Auckland traffic to me. Like there's the rules are crazy because like no one indicates and everyone's angry all the time. So and like it's always cluttered. So like especially like if you're like the city or the highway. But like I
hmm
imagine in California since everything's a lot bigger, you know, I imagine it's like 10 times worse. You know.
Yeah, the traffic's pretty gnarly in lots of places in California.
Yeah. I think.
But when it really gets bad is when you're trying to like merge lanes.
Oh
People
yeah.
don't. It's so you just zipper merge one car from this lane, then one car from and nobody does that. They're always like trying to get one car ahead, and I'm like, is that really gonna change your day that much? Like, can we just?
Yeah. Have you experienced I don't know if you've been to driving in India or anything like that, but driving in
I
India
have
is
not.
okay, it is a roller coaster because there's no such thing as road rules there. Let
Oh
me tell
God.
you that, because I've been to India a couple times because I'm part Indian. I go like usually every year or once
Uh
every
huh.
3 years. I never drive in India because I don't want to, because I'm pretty sure I'll die. Um,
Ha.
but yeah, like it's chaos. Like there's no rules. You pretty much drive to survive, and it is insane. Like I have so much respect for all the drivers that drive there every day. But if I drove for one day, I'm not gonna make it to the end of my journey alive. You know, let
Yeah.
alone back home. You know, but yeah, but like being a passenger, it's kind of in a weird way, it's kind of nice because like it's like a roller coaster. and, and
I guess that's one way to think of it.
yeah. But yeah, Emery, my last question for you is yeah, it might be a bit of a deep one, but what keeps you going?
Oh gosh, that is a good question to ponder. I think what really keeps me going, like in this industry in particular, like what keeps me acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's playing pretend. And sometimes it can get hard to remember that. Of course, when you're doing it for a living, auditions feel very high stakes, and it's easy to get caught up in like, what does casting want, and how do I do this right? But I think especially when I go do the murder mystery shows and get to like help this room full of people play pretend, that really reminds me that like I'm very lucky to get to do this as any part of my life, let alone for my job. Um, and I never want to stop being able to play pretend whenever I want to, because I think that's just so fun and so cool. So for all of the like difficult parts of being an actor, or even just being a freelancer, because working for yourself is hard and can suck in a lot of ways, um, I'm glad that I get to do something fun every day.
Hell yeah.
And also my cat. That's kind of how I keep existence going in general, is
Hell yeah.
for my
What kind of
cat.
what kind of cat do you have?
I have two cats. One of them is more my partner's cat, though, but my baby is
Mm.
an orange tabby named
Yes.
Wink, and she only
Wing.
has one eye because her other
Ah.
eye didn't fully develop all the way. So she has
Okay.
like one full eye and then one kind of like little thing in her eye socket.
Okay. So she was always called Wig. It wasn't like a
Yeah,
permanent. Oh, okay.
that was her name at the shelter, and I
Oh,
was
okay.
gonna change it, and then I was like, no, it's too perfect. She's got one eye. Is Wink.
Oh, actually, I've got a question for you because you
Yeah,
might be able to answer this. So, have you ever watched Monsters Inc?
I have. I have watched Monsters Inc.
You know Mike Wazowski, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you reckon Mike Wazowski blinks or winks?
Well, so okay, to me, the definition of a blink is like closing all your eyes, right? And then
Yeah.
a wink is closing one eye.
Yeah.
But I think if you only have one eye available, it's inherently a blink because you're closing all your eyes.
Yeah. But like,
So like
what if he's like winking at someone? Because I know he has a partner, right? So like, how they able to like discern
I
that?
feel like he has to get his mouth involved, you know? Like if he were to blink, cuz you know
Yeah.
when you close one eye, your mouth kind of like inherently just quirks a little bit.
Yeah, I
So if
think
he were
so.
to like blink but like smirk, maybe that could give the same vibe.
That's actually true. Yeah, you know what? Thank you for solving that mystery. I've been trying to figure that out for years.
You're welcome. Well, and as far as and since his partner has like all of the eyeballs,
That's
um
true. That's so true.
then,
I
you
didn't even think
know,
about
I
that.
guess she can wink at him pretty easily.
That's true. I didn't even think about that because like the snakes have eyes as well. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Wow.
Yeah.
I need to catch up on Monsters Inc. and
Your
stuff.
Monsters Inc. lore.
Yeah, because I've seen Monsters University, the first season of Monsters at Work. I know the
Oh,
second
I
season
forgot
now.
there was a show. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear the second season is actually really good. So like I'll have to have a look at that. So
Noted. I do remember watching Monsters University, but I don't remember much about it.
yeah, people used to shit on it a lot, but like it's really good. It's really good. Like, oh my god, especially because I've just finished uni, so like it just hits a little harder as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
But like, oh man, it's good. People people shouldn't shit on it. It's a good movie. It really is.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and the paperwork lady from the original,
yeah,
I think is a especially beautiful voiceover performance.
yeah, it's right.
I
The
love her.
I don't know what her actor's name is, but she's
Me
very
neither.
iconic. Like
Yeah,
Roz's
I don't
actor
even
is
remember the
iconic.
character's name. Is it Roz?
It's Roz, yeah.
I just think of her as the "Do you have your paperwork, lady?"
Like
Like that's my only
Wazowski.
Wazowski. It's such that's like such a fun impression to do because even if you do a bad job, people know what you're doing. So I love that performance for that reason.
My favorite thing to do at do you have a party trick voice that you do at parties?
um, it's not really a voice, and I'm a little out of practice. But what I've been working on for like my party trick is doing like trumpet sounds with your
Oh,
mouth.
okay.
Cause what I would love to do, I still wear a mask if I'm going just like out shopping. Cause why not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I also really like it because I don't have to control my face muscles as much to look
It's
appropriate.
also aesthetically
Autism thing.
pleasing, you know. I
Yeah,
miss it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if I can make realistic enough trumpet sounds, I can like confuse people in the grocery store.
You piece of shit. That's you're
So
one of those people.
yeah. So let me see if I can do it. I'm a kind of out of practice, but that's my party trick is like
That's so
trumpet
cool.
noises.
Why would you do that in public? What's wrong with you?
I mean, cause like like it's one thing when your friend like screws up in a game you're playing and you can go like womp wah,
Womp
or you
womp.
can go like it's just got more kick to it.
Okay. I thought you meant I thought you meant you were just doing that like in general, just to screw with people.
I don't think it's convincing enough to do that yet. But I would love to just like do that in a grocery store with a mask on so no one can see my mouth and see what happens.
Okay, that makes sense. I take everything back then, because like I was gonna say, like it reminds me of like people changing their names for the Starbucks people to yell out loud.
Oh, yeah, no, that's I mean, I they never get my name right anyway. I'm Emily at coffee shops. So,
Oh yeah,
which is fine, honestly. Emily's a very nice name. I'm okay with that.
it's kind of close, right? It's a little bit.
It is really close. Yeah, I mean, I totally understand why that happens. I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind being named Emily, so.
I also as I am also guilty of changing the names at Starbucks.
Well,
So
it depends what you're changing it to. Like when people just change it to like random things that's only funny because it's clearly not your name. Like you got to be artful with it, you know?
yeah, I'm because like one of my friends works at Starbucks, and I always like they know this. They don't they know that I'm gonna say like a random name that's not my own. Um, but like I think they kind of play into it so they can
That's
say it out
funny.
loud, and it's so like I haven't gotten them in trouble yet, but you know, it's pretty good.
Well, it's
Um,
pranking your friends. That's always elite.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But
that's a
it's
must.
but it's I try to treat them very carefully because you know it is their job, right? You know, I don't want to get them fired or anything. I've been doing this for like what, like 2 years, so like yeah. Um, if I use my regular name, they're like, okay, what's wrong? What's up? What's going on?
Ha!
It's like
That's funny.
yeah. But yeah, this interview comes to a close. Emery, thank you so
Cool.
much for coming on. You've been an amazing and lovely guest. It was lovely
Yeah,
chatting with
thank
you.
you for having me.
Hey, no worries. And yeah, where can people find you on social media and stuff?
Yeah, I am just Emeri Chase on all social media platforms. I'm probably the most active on Twitter, but I
Yeah,
also post on Instagram occasionally. I want to start posting more cat pictures on
you should.
Instagram, so maybe I should. She's very photogenic. She's very beautiful.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I'm Emeri Chase. Basically wherever. I've got great SEO, so if you just
Hell
Google
yeah.
that, everything will come up.
Hell yeah. Also, I lied to you. I actually have one more question for you.
Oh yeah, what's up?
All right. Which actors would you like to see on the Overvoice podcast next? Or not even
Oh,
actors, just people.
absolutely. I would love to see Courtney Steele, one
Hell
of my
yeah.
besties. Absolutely love her. Also, Crystal Lee, if you haven't talked to her yet, is also one of my
Oh,
besties. So they
hell
would
yeah.
both be great choices.
Hell yeah. I spoke to Crystal like ages ago. When was that? Like 2022, 2023? Nice to talk to her again. It'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been up to a lot, so there'll be
Oh
plenty to
yeah.
talk about. Yeah, she's so cool.
Hell yeah. But yeah, thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate you and your time
Yeah, absolutely.
because you mentioned that you're gonna be busy tomorrow in like a few days.
Yeah, I've got a trip planned and I'm getting new headshots done and taking a
Yeah.
really fun class this weekend. So yeah, busy week.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, I also have a class this weekend, so maybe I'll see you there. Who knows?
Hell yeah.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
mine's in person, so probably not,
Oh
unless you
yeah,
have a
yeah, no.
cross-continental trip
Um,
planned.
not yet. I will have a American class in person next year. That's like
Cool.
that's one of my dreams to next year is to do that. Because I
In-person classes are fun.
yeah, like the last in person class I went to was like way back in 2019 in New Zealand, but like I haven't had like but I think it'll be nice to do that again to like get that
Yeah,
sort of
hell
feel
yeah.
for it. But yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next interview. Bye, everybody.
Bye.